Okay. Apadam apahartaram dataram sarvasampadam lokabhiramam shriramam bhuyo bhuyo namamyaham. So, welcome to the last four episodes, the last four lectures. So this is the 21st lecture, and from here onwards, it's like we have neared the checkered flag. We can almost see the line, but the enemy is still very much alive in terms of the story. And in terms of the story, the enemy has not been down yet. In fact, we are going to see one of the most brutal battles that were ever fought. So far, the story says that Kumbhakarna was down, and once Kumbhakarna died, what did these two people do? What all these Vanaras do is, upon the orders of Rama, they burned the Lanka again. They put fire to them. It's a sign of victory. It's a sign of fear that you install in the enemy's heart. And then there was Nikumbha, Kumbha, and they were the sons of Kumbhakarna. Kumbhakarna's sons were also killed. Makaraksha was killed by Rama. And at this moment, we had stopped. So Ravana still has one more trump card left in his pocket, and he turns to him at this dire moment. He was badly in need of a champion. Without a champion, Ravana could not have survived this war. And he knew very well that the time has come for introducing, or in fact, I should say, reintroducing his greatest champion, Indrajit, back to the battlefield. So he sent Indrajit. Indrajit was talked to by his father, Ravana. He said that, can you kill these two enemies for me, Rama and Lakshmana? See, back in those days, you had even defeated Indra, the king of gods. You had defeated so many other people as well. So I have no doubt, there is not a cloud of doubt, a tinge of doubt regarding your ability. You are a victor, you are a champion, you are a winner. So can you show that to me once more, just once more? Can you kill these two irritations for me? And do not go unprepared, go prepared this time. So what Indrajit did was, he immediately accepted Ravana's orders. He acknowledged the intensity of the situation, and he decided to go to battlefield. Usually what warriors do when they decide to go to battlefield is they put on their armor and they step into the battlefield, isn't it? That's how usually warriors prepare themselves for the battle. But Indrajit was different. He was a different pedigree altogether. Yajna bhumau savidhivat pavakam juhuvendrajit, Valmiki writes. He entered Yagashalam. He entered Yagashala and he ignited the fire and he worshipped the fire. And immediately there's a beautiful sentence which is, I know it might not be that significant in terms of the story, but in terms of the popular line that says that Vedah prachetasa dasit sakshad Ramayana atmana. They say that Ramayana is nothing but Veda in a different way. Veda told in a grand way is Ramayana. So very close to this line, we get this proof, we get this evidence where the exact same line used in Veda is used here as well. Raktoshni. So there were several women that followed him. The women who followed Ravani, that is Ravana's son, Indrajit, to the Yagashala. And how were these women? Valmiki describes these women and he says that Raktoshni Shadharaha, they all had a red ribbon or red cloth or red scarf, maybe we can say that, a red scarf tied around their head. Ushnisha, that is what Ushnisha means. Raktoshnisha dharaha, and the exact same word appears in Vedic mantras as well. It's very popular in Mīmāmsa Shastra. Raktoshnisha dharaha. So we can find these kind of similarities. And everybody started helping Indrajit in that yagam, and Indrajit did his ritual. It was ritual of his most important ritual. Before he could step into the battlefield, he used to perform one yagam, and in between the battle, he used to go and perform another one. After he used his Maya, he used to perform one. So that we have not seen it yet. This is just before, this is like, his regular practice. Most of the times his enemies, he would be invincible for his enemies if he had performed only this much of worshipping of fire. So he thought that this much is sufficient for these two. Before this, he did not even perform all these things. He directly went to the battlefield. He was able to make both Rama and Lakshmana unconscious, not once, but twice, if you remember. And he had complete confidence in his ability. But since his father had told him that do not go unprepared, so this time he went to Yagashala, performed the ritual, and then he took the life of, we cannot say the life, but it's a procedure, it's a ritual followed in these kind of yagas. Chagasya sarva krishnasya galanjagraha ravani. So there is a procedure in these kind of yagas where a Krishna Mriga, a black deer, was kept there, and he took the gut out of that black deer while it was alive and gave it to the fire, and he got what he required. So I'm going to give you a small glimpse of the good omens that are supposed to be followed during a yagam, because we visit to so many homa, yaga, yajna and all. We think that we are being a part of Indian culture, tradition, etc., etc., but we don't know what to observe. Because I have seen so many people, from both ends. When I am performing the yagam or when I'm a part of the audience, I have seen how people view that. They think that it's a get-together, okay, where you get to meet so many people and flaunt your silk saris and take some selfies and post it on Instagram. No, I'm sorry. That's not why you are invited for a yagam. You are supposed to be a sadasya. See, when somebody invites you for a yajnam or a yagam, you are actually given the status of a sadasya. There are 4 important positions in a yaga. The first one is Udgatra, Adhvaryu, Brahma, Udgatra, and Hotri. Okay, and these positions are based on their Veda, that the Veda to which they belong. See, in any yagam, only a Yajurvedi can be an Adhvaryu. He is the master, he is the leader who leads the ceremony. I should not use the word ceremony. He leads the entire yagam. And then there is Hota, the one who puts the dravya into the fire. And then there is Udgatra, who chants the mantra. And the another one is the observer, who is known as Brahma. He belongs to Atharvana Veda. Udgatra belongs to Samaveda. Adhvaryu is the technical person, technical head, CTO of yagam. Okay, Chief Technical Officer of that yagam. And CEO, he happens to be Brahma. That's why he is called as Brahma in that yagam. And then there are other people who are invited as Sadasyas, and they play an important role as well. Not everybody is invited to yaga. If you are invited, then it means that you are asked specifically to be a Sadasya. The word Sadasya is nowadays used as, he is a Sadasya of so-and-so institution or so-and-so company. It's like, member. It's not equivalent to member. No. Sadasya means, you have the eligibility to be present in that particular Sadaha, in that particular Sabha. Therefore, it demands some kind of things from you when you are attending that kind of an event. What are they supposed to do? They are supposed to keep an eye on the proceedings, how things are getting done, not comment and gossip. Okay, they have to keep an eye on the proceedings, observe how things are done. They are the ones who get to witness when gods descend to receive what is truthfully theirs. in that particular yagam. Now you understand the level where the sadasyas are. When somebody invites you to be a part of their Navagraha Homam, you are supposed to sit there and look and watch out for the gods to come and receive the bounty that we are offering them. Nobody cares about all these things. Okay, maybe the selfie stick or the mobile phone wards them away. All those gods, they don't come. Have you not heard that famous story of Janamejaya when he did that Sarpayagam? When the Adhvaryu called upon the Sarpas, they fell down. They fell down. They all appeared in front of him. That's the power of Yagam. If you invite any god in front of fire, that god appears in front of you. The power of fire, I tell you. Okay, fine. This is going elsewhere. I'm very sorry. Coming back to the story, because this is very important, because we need to understand how was Indrajit invincible? How did he manage to have this kind of power? It's not merely skill or the mastery over his art. It's more than that. That's why he was invincible. So Valmiki lists out a few ideas which we can actually focus. The first one is Sakradhoma Samidhasya. He only did only once. He only gave that ahuti once, and the fire was well lit. See, the fire, if the fire is well lit in a homam, in a yagam, it's a good sign. Most of the times, people think that it all comes down to dry wooden logs. If the wooden logs are dry and well maintained, the fire will be lit very well. No, it does not come to that. It's not about putting too much of ghee into fire. That's not how you ignite. Most of the times, it comes to that person who is doing it. It's all science, actually. So he says that Sakradhoma Samidhasya, see, he did only once. He gave only one ahuti to the Agni, and the Agni was Samidha. Samidha means well ignited, well lit. And then there was another one, Vidhumaha. There was no smoke at all. A fire without smoke is the best sign. Okay. Against the popular opinion of people that if there is no smoke, then they have not done any homa at all. Homa means there should be plenty of smoke filled. And one of the reasons why nobody wants to sit near the homa, because it hurts our eyes. You have to shoot yourself if it hurts your eyes. You are a sadasya, you're supposed to sit there. You are not supposed to move around. When the yaga is going on, you are not supposed to move around. It's not a what do you call that, exhibition? And in Mysore we call it as exhibition. What a fair, a market, where people simply roam around. It's not that. Okay, fine. Sorry. Focus. Okay. And Vidhumasya and Maharchishaha, it was very well ignited. And after this, and Pradakshina Vartaha, the Agni started moving clockwise, which is a sign, which is a very good sign. You need to observe this. Not every time the fire moves clockwise. Sometimes the fire moves anti-clockwise. Oh, it all depends on wind. Of course, it depends on wind. But you are supposed to know at what time, where should you do it? Not when the wind blows, you must observe how the fire is moving. When the wind is not blowing, how does the fire move? You can actually identify. Okay, fine. Moving on. And all these things, and the last one, Shapat, this is the last one. Valmiki says, Tapta Hataka Sannibha, which means, you take gold, and when you heat the gold, it turns into a different color. The color of heathened gold, that is the true color of Agni. And that color appeared. And that the wooden log has got nothing to contribute to this. No, it turns into a different color. The flame turns into a different color. And that denotes whether the Agni is prasanna or not. Okay, fine. I stop it here. And all of these, Vijayam Darshayanti, they all denote victory to the person who did this. So he was confident. He observed all these things. I don't know whether Indrajit observed this or not. Our poet very well did. So after this, he took out his chariot and he wore his armor and he stepped out to the battlefield. and he fought bravely. He started showering those arrows at them, and then all of a sudden he disappeared. Nowhere was Indrajit seen, and they were all wondering, where did this fellow go? He was right in front of our eyes. Now he cannot be seen anywhere. And then he started tormenting them, terrorizing them. At the end of it, it irritated Lakshmana so much. You cannot believe what did Lakshmana tell Rama after this. He was so much irritated. He asked his brother's permission. Lakshmanastu tatah kruddhaha bhrataram vakyam abrai. What did he say? Brahmamastram prayokshyami vadhartham sarvarakshasam. He was not even worried about Indrajit. He was not talking about killing Indrajit. He said, I will take one Brahmastra and I will kill all the Rakshasas that are existing in this world. I don't care. Enough is enough. He was so much irritated because this was the third time that this was happening with him. Every time he thought that there is a chance of fighting Indrajit, he would disappear and then he would terrorize them and they would have no clue where Indrajit exists. And it was becoming such a highly difficult task for Lakshmana, because Lakshmana is a proven winner. He is a born winner and he doesn't like to lose. And this is the third time, for crying out loud. And how many times will you accept defeat? He said, enough is enough. One astra is sufficient to kill all these Rakshasas. Even at this moment, he is a true leader who does not lose the sense, who does not lose the purpose, the greater purpose that he needs to serve in his life. And that, my dear friends, is Rama for you. He says that, Naikasya heto rakshamsi prithvivyam hantum arhasi. See, you are irritated by one man. So for the sake of one person's irritation, you don't kill hundreds and thousands of innocent lives. Okay. That is the kind of consciousness that Rama had, even at this moment of battle. Even he was irritated. It was not like Rama was not irritated. Even he wanted to gain victory over Indrajit, and it was very irritating. And then he gives a golden rule, which all of us must remember. This is with Mahabharata follows Mahabharata follows Rama and his words to the last word. What kind of people can never be hurt on a battlefield? First one, Ayudhyamanam, he who is not fighting with you. He's simply standing there. You cannot go and kill him. A mere spectator cannot be killed. Then Prachannam, he who is hiding. A person who is hiding cannot be killed. Pranjalim Sharanagatam, who has shown the white flag, who has waved the white flag and who has surrendered and who is seeking refuge under you, you cannot kill him. Fourth one, Palayamanam, one who is running away from the battlefield. You are not supposed to kill him. If somebody is running away, then you have to let them run away. You can't shoot an arrow or you cannot shoot a bullet, which is completely against the popular opinion that we have got about warfare and battle and fight these days, isn't it? It doesn't matter. You have to shoot when the person is running. You see so many times when the thief or the villain when the chief antagonist is running away at the last episode of the season, okay, and the hero shoots him from behind. At least for those people, Rama had the courage to shoot directly. The arrow that shot, that killed Vālī was not from behind. It was directly directed at his heart. So at least he was waiting for the opportunity. It's not like that. The current heroes do not shoot their counterparts, their enemies, face to face. They shoot them from behind and then they go and kill him, whatever it is. So these are, and mattam, he who is intoxicated in a battle. You must not kill an intoxicated person because all these things will kill them eventually. So there is no point in killing them. That's what he means. So these are the 5 people who are not supposed to be killed on a battlefield. Ayudhyamanam, one who is not fighting, one who is hiding, one who has sought refuge in you, and one who is running away from the battlefield, and finally, one who is intoxicated. So therefore, you have to show some warrior spirit, try and gain victory over him. Because Indrajit does not belong to any of these. Yes, he is Prachannam. Therefore, you cannot kill him. You have to find him out and then kill him. Okay, fine. At this time, he thought that Rama is giving so much of discourse and so much of knowledge, jnān de raha hai, to Lakshmana. So he thought that this is the moment I shall kill the war. The war shall not exist anymore if I do this. So came the thought to Indrajit's mind. What did he do? He created a magical Sita. Okay? He created a duplicate Sita out of magic, Maya Sita. And all of a sudden, he appeared in front of everyone, holding Sita's hair in his hand, on one hand, and on another hand, he had a sword in his hand. So he appeared in front of them. And again, even here, Valmiki mentions that Ekaveni dharam dinam upavasa krishananam. I rest my case here. I hope you all can understand the meaning of the word Ekaveni dhara. Even at this time, even the Maya Sita, even the duplicate Sita had Ekaveni, one braid, not loose hair. Long live Raja Ravi Verma and such artists. I'm very sorry, but that's the truth. Anyway, and then Hanūmān saw them, both Indrajit holding Sita and with a sword in his hand. He tried to console him. He tried to have a word with him. He said, see, you belong to a great family. You have a great legacy. And tumko ye shobha nahi deti hai. It doesn't suit you if you kill a woman or if you bring a woman like this in this stage to a battlefield. You are a warrior. You are a proven warrior. Why don't you fight like a man against us? Why have you brought Sita here? And why are you threatening to kill her? It's not what great men do. It's not what great warriors do. Please stop this. Don't do this. But Indrajit was in no mood to listen to all these things. He wanted to put a full stop to this war. So he said that, Hanūmān, just observe what I'm going to do. Isn't this the reason why all of you crossed the ocean? Isn't this the reason why you, Sugrīva, Rāma, Lakshmana, you all have come here and fighting for this woman, isn't it? And my Pitruvya is what do you call Chikkappa in Kannada. I mean, my father's brother, isn't it? Is there a peculiar word for that in English? I don't know. So he also abandoned us and joined you people. So all of you are here for this woman, isn't it? Look what I'm going to do to her. And fortunately, Rama and Lakshmana were not there at that time. They were fighting somewhere else. And Indrajit chose a different part of the battlefield to showcase his Maya. The reason behind this is the Maya, the magic, all these kind of black magic doesn't work in front of those people who are very highly elevated in terms of yoga sadhana. For example, Rama. For example, Lakshmana. Maya does not work in front of them. So the Maya Sita, the duplicate Sita, would have disappeared if Indrajit had brought that Maya Sita in front of Rama. But anyway, Rama was hurt. Rama was sad after what happens next is a different thing, because he's an Ardhan hero. Our hero is a very much human. He's not superhuman, but he did possess that kind of quality. Therefore, Maya does not work on him. And he took that sword and barbarically, he just killed her. He says that Yajñopavita margena chinnatena tapasvini. So he did not cut her into half. He sliced open that Maya Sita, like how Yajñopavita is worn. Yajñopavita margena, that is from left to right. He cut her open like this. And the Vanaras who were fighting till that point, when they saw this scene from their own eyes, they could not stand there anymore. They started running away. They thought that the war is over. We were fighting to get Sita back, and Sita was actually killed right in front of us. Okay, so how can we continue with the war? But Hanūmān was there, and it's like Rama's army was filled with leaders. when there was a necessity for a leader at any given point of time, there emerged such leaders who motivated and who inspired the entire troop. You need that kind of leaders in every part of your team or in every part of an army. In every rank, you need a leader, a proper leader who can lead men. I mean, gender neutral term, okay? Who can lead men. Hanūmān called them up and he said that we still have to fight. And he was somehow consoling himself, but it worked against Hanūmān. Hanūmān actually thought that this is Sīta. He could not identify that this is Maya Sīta. The reasons could be different because he was not being his actual self. He was only being a mere monkey in the army of Sugrīva. We must not forget that Rama had given strict instructions to each and every person of Sugrīva's army that they are not supposed to disguise themselves or attain different forms which they are capable of. Even if you are capable of attaining different forms, you are not supposed to do, because Rama had given a strict instruction. Therefore, Hanūmān was not at his prime. We can defend. So he was acting as a normal human being or a normal being there. So normally, how would you feel when the thing that you are fighting for, the person that you are fighting for, is killed right in front of your eyes? He tried his level best, and then he started fighting with whoever was with him. It was not possible. He felt lost. He felt defeated. So he left that, and then he called upon all the Vanaras and said, let us go back to Rama and Lakshmana. I think we need to reassess the situation. We cannot carry on like this. We need to tell Rama and Lakshmana what has happened here. And it was a dire situation. I mean, I know that it was Maya Sīta. Hanūmān did not know that it is Maya Sīta. And we have to view the story from their perspective. At the heat of the moment of that battle, they did not know that this is a duplicate Sīta. They thought that it is Sīta, that's all. For them, Sīta is Sīta. And only Hanūmān had seen Sīta. So he thought that, yeah, this is the woman that I saw and I spoke to, and she is no more. So they went to Rama and Lakshmana. Hanūmān told that Sīta is no more. There is no point. And he explained all the things that happened. Rama became unconsolable. You have to understand that he loved his wife. Otherwise, why would he cry? And he thought that, what did just happen? I have no clue. Why did this happen? And why are you telling me this now? What am I supposed to do? And he started crying profusely. And this is when you find a different kind of Lakshmana. A kind of Lakshmana who bears a certain amount of similarity to Jabali, if you at all remember this character from Aranyakanda. From Ayodhya Kanda. Jabali was the man who gave a discourse on Charvakamatam to Rama when Bharata and his counselors and the entire city went to Chitrakuta to lure Rama back to Ayodhya. Everyone was giving their set of argument, and Jabali presented an argument of Charvakamatam, and Rama was very upset with Jabali. Yet the same kind of argument Lakshmana also proposes, but Lakshmana's argument has some value in it. And many people have used this particular episode of Ramayana for their research, for their benefit, and to claim a 2-minute fame. Okay, how Ramayana proposes to lead the life, how you have to, management in Ramayana, wealth management in Ramayana. If you have come across any such videos or any such topics, their source will be chapter number 83 from Valmiki Ramayana in Yuddhakanda. He makes a brilliant case on how dharma means nothing in this world. I'm not going to go in detail because he was only trying to uplift his brother. He wanted his brother Rama to stand and fight, continue with the fight. He was only trying to give him that sense of higher purpose that he needs to serve. It's not just merely about winning your wife back. It's about eradicating, removing the evil from this world for which you are the designated one. You have a higher purpose in life. And he was simply reminding him. And if we cannot get Lakshmana's words in this perspective, and if we go by the actual words spoken by Lakshmana, then we would be lost, because we have been telling that Ramayana is an epitome of dharma, or Rama is an epitome of dharma. Ramayana talks about dharma, and how can we ever defend the words that he speaks? He gives his argument is very elementary, I believe, where he says that yadya dharmo bhaved bhuto Ravanam narakam vrajed. If adharma existed in this world, my brother, then Ravana should have gone to Naraka by now. He should have been in hell by now. And if dharma existed, bhavanshcha dharma sanyukto naiva vyasanam apnuyat. If dharma is true and adharma is true, then Ravana should have been in hell by now, and you should have never got into any of these struggles and problems in your life. Ergo, adharma does exist and dharma does not exist. There is no point in talking about dharma and adharma. Forget about dharma. Arthena hi vimuktasya purushasya alpachayatasaha vichchidyante kriyas sarvaha grishme kusarito yatha. See, we abandon a lake without water during the summer. We don't respect that. Likewise, people don't respect such men who do not possess wealth. So focus on wealth. See, now you get to know why artha is equated with wealth, and why people use this particular chapter for their discourses related to wealth management in Ramayana. So Lakshmana says this, yasyarthaha sapanditaha. He who has money is the scholar in this world. He who has money is known to be the man. He is the courageous one. He is the clever one. He is the greatest one. He is the virtuous one. So if there is one thing that you need to focus on, it is the money. And Lanka is a very wealthy place. So let us go and occupy this. Okay. But Rama was in no mood to listen to all these words. He did not even flinch. He did not. He understood that what is Lakshmana's purpose, but he did not respond to him. There was not a single change in Rama's position or Rama's behavior at this moment when Lakshmana said all these words. Do you know when Rama changed his mind and gave the order to fight? Enter Vibhishana. Vibhishana was organizing, because he was kept with that task. So he was organizing the army, and after that, he came and saw that everyone is so quiet and gloomy. What has happened? He inquired, and Hanūmān told that this happened. Sita is dead. Vibhishana's reaction was, no, that's impossible. Why was it impossible for Vibhishana? I will tell you why. He understood Ravana better than anyone else. Abhiprayantu janami Ravanasya duratmana. These are the exact words of Vibhishana. I know what Ravana seeks. So under no circumstances shall he hurt Sita. Therefore, Sitam prati mahabaho nacha ghatan karishyati. It's impossible that he will kill Sita. I mean, he wants her, so he cannot kill her. I know this much. Okay. When I begged him to send her away, he did not, because he still believed that Sita will accept him one day. So he's such a perverted man. He will never kill. He's not a psychopath. Ravana was not a psychopath. He was a pervert of highest level. Okay. Now, if there are anybody who still loves Ravana, I'm very sorry. I'm going to remove that goodness that you have in your heart for Ravana for good, uprooting it. And I enjoy doing this. I'm sorry. It's kind of a sadistic pleasure to remove that goodness, the cloud of goodness that hovers around Ravana for no reason whatsoever. That the problem is there. My problem is there. For no good reason whatsoever, people simply sympathize with Ravana. It's not required. Okay. Right. So actually, it should have been mentioned, the topic should have been mentioned as Ravanatvavadham. It's not exactly Rāvanavadham, the feeling that we have for Ravana is Ravanatvam. The essence of Ravana needs to be killed, not Ravana himself. Fine. Oh, I don't know why I'm so much wavered today. It's moving somewhere else, but I have to bring it back. Sorry. And sometimes this happens when the topic is very much close to your heart and when you love this topic. So usually, you tend to sway away from the path most of the times. Fine. Then he gives him, Vibhishana gives Rama a detailed description of the antics of Indrajit. What does Indrajit do? See, there is one more point that Sita cannot be touched by everyone. Do you think it is that easy to hold Sita and bring her on a chariot and kill her? Come on, we have to be foolish enough to believe that. So after this, he said that he has simply made a fool out of all of you and he has run away. And I know where he has run away. Maya Mayim Mahabaho Tam Vidhi Janakatmajam. She is a duplicate one. She is made out of complete Maya. That's all. So do not believe in this. Chaityam Nikumbhila Madhya Prapya Homam Karishyati. Now he will move to a place called as Nikumbhila. That is the name of that place. Indrajit has gone to Nikumbhila, where he is going to perform an Abhicharika Homam. Not regular Homam. This is a different kind of Homam which should not interest you. Okay. Yeah, I know I'm being very imposing in this thing, but that is required. This is an Abhicharika Homam, like, Kritrima, Abhichara, black magic. And this is that sort of a yaga. In order to do that, that's why he has gone to not Yagashala this time. He has gone to Nikumbhila, which is a Chaitya. Chaitya is a place where you keep dead bodies, which is basically Smashanam. He has gone there and you are going to find him there. If you don't believe me, send Lakshmana with me. I will show him that he exists there. Tasya tadvachanam shrutva raghava shokakarishataha nopadharayate vyaktam yaduktam tena rakshasa. So finally, Rama was able to even at least acknowledge the fact that Vibhishana is speaking something. And if Vibhishana is speaking, he must be speaking sense. And then he contemplated on his words. And finally, Rama got some kind of courage. And he said that, okay, fine. I believe you, Vibhishana. And Vibhishana told Rama that, see, you are the heart and soul of our army. And tvai akarana santapte. And without any reason, if you get grief-stricken, then our entire army loses its morale. So we cannot afford you to be losing heart like this. So please don't like this. Okay. And then he explained few more details related to Indrajit. Only Vibhishana knew all these details. How handy is Vibhishana in all these scenarios? You imagine that. See, once upon a time, Indrajit did a tapas and he pleased Lokapitamaha, that is Brahma. And Brahma gave him a special astra, a special weapon which goes by the name Brahmashira. That is the name of the astra, Brahmashira. And after that, he also gave him some horses which have the ability to move according to the will of the person who is riding them. I mean, how is it different from regular horses, you may ask? For regular horses, you have to lead them. Okay. These horses need not be controlled. These horses are controlled by your thoughts and by your desires. If you desire to visit a particular place, if you desire to go from one place to another place on a battlefield, these horses will read your mind and take you there. That's the magical horses, we can say, in some sort. So these sort of magical horses were also gifted by Brahma to Indrajit along with Brahmashiras. And then he said that Sa esha kila sainyena praptah kila nikumbhilam. So he who faces you in Nikumbhila with an army behind him, he shall be the end of you. This is a caution given by Brahma. If you manage to perform this Abhichara Homam in Nikumbhila without getting spotted by any person and without getting spotted by any person who has the following of an army, then you will be successful and you will become invincible. But there is a condition. If anybody catches you in the middle of this act, you are done, you are finished. He shall be your mrityu, he shall be your death. Indra Shatro Sate Vadha, that will be the end of you. And that's why even to this day, every person, any person who does this black magic, they do not prefer to be seen socially. They isolate themselves from social arena because they don't like to be present in society. Because when you are present in society, if there are good people, if there is too much of dharma, they cannot handle, they cannot survive, they cannot stand. So no need to be alarmed or worried about all these abhichara. Abhichara and everything, it will go away if you have anushtanam, if you do your duty properly, if you do your daily rituals correctly, nothing can even touch you. And the story of the battle of Indrajit and Lakshmana is a prime example for that. You will understand when I give you the climax of this battle. That's when you will realize what I meant when I said that abhichara does not even touch us if we are truthful and if we are following the path of dharma. So after all these things, Rama decided that fine, you may leave. And he asked Jambavan, Hanūmān, Vibhishana, and an army, a part of army, to follow Lakshmana, to fight Indrajit. Finally, without Lakshmana asking, begging his brother, Rama, this is for the first time ever in the entire Ramayana that Rama has designated Lakshmana himself to go and fight a battle for him. So far in the story, so far in Ramayana, it was always the other way around. Lakshmana used to ask every time. Rama used to say no. This time Lakshmana did not even have to ask him. Rama himself designated him, go and fight, go and kill Indrajit for me. Jahitam Rakshasasutam Mayabala Samanvitam. And he was so happy, Lakshmana. And you find a different Lakshmana altogether from here onwards. He was so boosted up with confidence. When you have the backing of your brother, when finally the one person whom you value a lot finally has realized your potential and has put you for a task, you take that as the greatest ever opportunity of your life. And Lakshmana did that. And what did he do? And this is what Bharatiya Samskriti is. This is what Ramayana teaches us. This is what my country is all about. And after saying that I will not fail you, I will definitely kill Indrajit and come back. And after this, Sobhibhadya Gurov Padu, he fell down to Rama's feet. He touched Rama's feet, took his blessings. Kritva chapi pradakshinam, not just falling on Rama's feet, he did a pradakshina namaskaram. See the amount of respect, how he worshipped Rama. You cannot find a better character than this. It's the battlefield. There was one person who is ready to go to any ends to ensure that he stays invincible, who is ready to go for abhichara as well. And then you have our hero, as simple as you can get. He just turned around. He took 3 rounds around Rama, touched his feet, took his blessings, and off he went with his army and associates to fight Indrajit in Nikumbhila. Now the focus shifts to Nikumbhila. So they went there, and there were several Rakshasas, thousands of them located there by Indrajit to protect him, because it would take some time for him to perform that abhichara karma. So until and unless he finishes that, he asked them to keep guard. But that was not going to happen because it was a different kind of scenario. That's why Rama sent so many soldiers and so many great warriors. Hanūmān was there, Jambavan was there, Vibhishana was there, and they all started attacking those Rakshasas, and Indrajit had to step forward. They forced him to step away from that Abhichara karma. That was the only thing that they had to do, isn't it? Technically speaking, he was already killed. According to Brahma's terms and conditions, all Indrajit needed to be done was he must be swayed away from that Abhichara karma, and that's the end of it. And whoever does that succeeds in killing Indrajit. And so far, he thought that his set of soldiers, his people, his men can defend him, but they were not able to defend him. And it's a game of emotions, I guess. He did not have his emotions under control, under check. This is why Vinaya is very important. Vinaya means Indriya Jaya. The control over Indriyas is called as Vinaya, not anything else. So Indrajit never had that. And Vibhishana had recognized this long ago. Since Indrajit came to know that Vibhishana has also accompanied Lakshmana up until Nikumbhila, he was very upset because he wanted a chance to get face to face with Vibhishana, so that he wanted to abuse him. He had so much of hatred filled in his heart towards Vibhishana. Ihatvam Jata Samvriddha, of the iconic conversations that have happened in Ramayana, this one is, at least it will make top 10 conversations of Ramayana. It's a very small conversation that happens between Indrajit and Vibhishana, but it is filled with so many things that we look forward in any conversation, in any good conversation. It says that you were born and raised in this country, in this very place. Do you remember that? And you are my father's brother, youngest brother. Katham druhyasi putrasya. And I am actually equivalent to your son. You must treat me like your son. And how can you hate me this much that you have brought an enemy to my doorsteps when I am performing the most important yagam? You knew about my secret and you blabbed about it to the enemy. How can you betray me like this? Indrajit trying to be very emotional and trying to bond with Vibhishana initially. Funny, isn't it, how things turn around the table? And then he gives a lecture on family, relationships. Oh, you must listen to this. Na jnatitvam, na sauhardam, na jatistava durmate, pramanam, na cha saudaryam, na dharmo, dharmadushana. You failed to protect all these things. You failed in all these things. See, you did not remember that we are your jnati, which means we are your relatives. We are blood related. And we belong to the same family. And you did not even follow dharma. What kind of a man are you? Naitichithilaya buddhya tvam vetsim hadantram kvacha swajana samvasaha vachanija parashrayaha. Did it not occur to you at any point of time that you should not abandon your own people? Where is, can you compare them, contrast it, Vibhishana? On one hand, you have the protection of your people. And on the other hand, you have to be a slave for others. When you move away from your own herd, you become a slave in others' eyes. And then he gives an iconic statement. I mean, if you remove the context, it is a golden line. Gunavan va parajanaha. No matter how good and how many great attributes a person has, if he is not family, he is not family. And swajano nirgunopiva. Even if my family does not possess any great attributes, family is family. This is the statement made by Indrajit. And if you remove the Indrajit part and also the context from this line, this is a brilliant line, isn't it? And then he makes this beautiful line. Swajanaha, nirgunaha swajana shreyan. Swajanaha, our people, even if they are virtueless, that's fine. Yaf paraha, he who is an outsider is always an outsider. Once an outsider, always an outsider. He's trying to emotionally blackmail him. After all these things, Vibhishana was not, he's in a different level. He's elite when it comes to dharma. So he responds to him. He was also waiting for this opportunity. He responds to him and he says that, you accuse me of abandoning my brother. What? Okay. You accuse me of abandoning my brother, and it means that you don't know me at all, and you don't understand what dharma means. I think it's a detailed description, which I know it will take some time, but we have to go through that, because this is the conversation that defines Vibhishana and that puts a seal on Vibhishana's character and his decision to abandon Ravana. He gives reasons here. He says that even though I am born in the same family as your father and your dead uncle, that is Kumbhakarna, Gunoyaf Prathamo Nrunam, Tanme Sheelam, and I follow dharma, and I do not have this Rakshasi pravritti like your father does or you do. I don't do with terror and I don't do with adharma in my life. He says that narame daruneyanaham. Daruna is terror. Okay. Nacha adharmena vairame. Bhratra vishamashilopi katham bhrata nirasyate. Okay. You asked me, right? And how can you leave your brother and all such things? Here is my answer. Here is my take on that. Dharmat prachyuta shilam. He who has abandoned the path of dharma, and he who has committed his entire life for committing only terrorist activities, if you leave him, only then you will find the ultimate bliss in your life. Tyaktva sukham avapnoti. How? If you are holding on to a poisonous snake in your hand, when will you be happy? When can you be peaceful? Only when you leave that snake. It was like, I was in the, it was like I was holding, I staying with Ravana was like I holding on to a poisonous snake. Therefore, I left him, like how you leave behind a poisonous snake. This is not sufficient, right? You are not convinced yet. I can sense that. 3 points. He says that. Parasvaharane yuktam, he who is involved in stealing others' property. Point number 1. Paradara bhimarshanam, he who takes away others' wives. 3rd one. Suhridam atishankacha, he who does not trust his own people. Trayodoshaha kshayavahaha. So these are the 3 vices that will dump a man into the darkness. And Ravana has all 3. He has done all 3. He has exhibited all these 3 vices. Parasvaharana yuktam, he snatched away so many bounty from so many people. Prime example, Pushpaka Vimanam from Kubera. It did not belong to him. It's not something that you snatch away or steal away from someone. It was one fair and square. No, it was not one fair and square. You defeated him in a battle. That's all. Just because you defeated him in battle, it doesn't mean that you can snatch everything that belongs to him. It means that you have not understood what dharma is or what dharma yuddha means. Our idea of yuddha is completely different than what yuddha actually means. This is why it might sound very unfamiliar, very primitive to many people when I say that just because we have won a battle over someone, it doesn't give us the right to snatch everything that belongs to them until and unless he surrenders it to him. Like how Vālī surrendered, that belonged to Rāma, because he surrendered. Not everybody surrenders, they die valiantly. And what will you do at that time? You cannot snatch away things from them. But Ravana did, because Kubera was not killed. He forced him to sign on the document and forcefully gained it. That is Parasvaharanam. Point number 1. Paradara bhimarshanam. Do I have to say anything about this? Snatching away others' wives. Prime example, Sīta. 3rd one, Suhridam atishankacha. Not trusting his close aides, not trusting his family and people who are very close to him. He did not trust Vibhishana's words. He did not heed to Vibhishana's advice, nor did he heed to the half-baked Maricha's words as well. That's two examples. Therefore, he deserves to be in this position. That's what Vibhishana is trying to mention. Not just that, he said that whoever does involve in these three vices, tyajya mahuhu, he must be left. He must be abandoned. This is what Dharma Shastra says, my friend. And you talk to me about dharma. Vibhishanastu dharmatma, natu rakshasa cheshtitaha. Valmiki's favorite line when it comes to Vibhishana. There are few adjectives that are very close to Valmiki's heart. And one of them is the word dharmatma, especially when he has to describe Vibhishana. He was a complete dharmika person. He followed dharma to the word, to the syllable. And he says that Dharma Shastra itself says that you have to abandon such people who are involved in these kind of things. Okay. And let me count the crimes that your father has committed, my dear ignorant child. Okay. This is Vibhishana talking to Indrajit. First one, Maharshinam Vadhaha. Your father has killed hundreds and thousands of Maharshis. No, he has not. Okay, but he funded them. How about that? He hired interns. He used to offer internship in his institution. Ravana's Institution of Terrorism, RIT. And two famous interns were Maricha and Subahu. They were funded by Ravana. He had a research agency. Not research, you don't call it as agency. What is that? Research institution set up in the heart of this country. And you support that man. A man who had terrorist links, who had established terrorist organizations in our country, in the heart of our country, in the midst of Madhya Pradesh, in Dandakaranya. He had his own wing of terrorists occupying that place and operating from there. Khara, Dushana, and Trishiras. They did commit crime. And who was their master? Ravana. Therefore, Maharshinam Vadhaha, because I know why I'm making this bigger a case is, there are many people who will come and argue, who have read Valmiki Ramayana completely, and they will say that there is no mention, Valmiki has never ever mentioned that Ravana has killed so many sages. Maharshinam Vadhaha, Ravana has never done that. He is as clean as a whistle. No, he is not. As pure as a baby's heart. No, he is not. Stop defending that fellow. Because he was a terrorist organization. See, if you want to curb terrorism, what is your plan of action? You want to end terrorism at its root. And the root cause of terrorism at that time was Ravana. You call him a terrorist. Okay? The kingpin of terrorism. That's what I call him. Okay, fine, sorry. Moving on. That is point number one. Maharshinam Vadho Ghoraha. Sarvadevaischa Vigraha. Having enmity with all the devatas in there was not a single devata that was spared by Ravana. So he was always at enmity with them, rivalry with them. Abhimanascha, too proud, too much pride in Ravana. And Roshaha, unreasonable anger is called as Rosha. Okay, Krodha is different, Rosha is different. They are not synonyms. I'm sorry. In Kannada and in other languages, avana Rosha, avana Dvesha, no. That is okay for Kannada level. Okay, this is Sanskrit we are talking about. This is the refined language. So when Valmiki uses a word like Rosha, he does not mean it. He does not mean it synonymously with Krodha. Krodha is different. Rosha is different. And then Vairatvam, unnecessary, unreasonable enmity with everyone. Yete dosha mama bhratu. All these were the vices of my brother. Okay. So even if he had any great virtues, these vices, these attitude, it covered them. So it was of no use. Even if you have the power, even if you are the sun, but if you are covered by the clouds, will you be able to do anything? Nothing. You can't do any, you cannot do anything. You were like, he compared him to Varsha Rutu's sun. Ravana was like Varsha Rutu's sun. During the rainy season, the sun exists, but nobody gets to see him because he is na ke barabar. He is almost similar to non-existent. That's how Ravana was, or his good qualities were. It meant nothing. It meant zero. Doshai raitaihi parityakto bhrata maya bhrata pitatava. So this is the reason why I left your father and my brother. This is the reason, this is the argument that Vibhishana made to Indrajit. This is an argument that we need to focus very much in order to define what Vibhishana is all about. And then he says that Neyamasti Puri Lanka. See, Indrajit, this Lanka is not going to stand long. Okay. Nor you, nor your father. All of you are going to perish immediately. And he was very upset. That enraged him like anything. So Indrajit, he started hurling abuses at Lakshmana now. He was done with Vibhishana. So when you are caught with this kind of logic, you simply run away from the debate. You say, bhad mein jao, I don't care about you. So when people write IDC in your chat, while chatting, if they write IDC, it means that you have won over them. Okay, when they say I don't care, it means they don't have any logic to prove. That's all. And that's what happened with Indrajit. So he went to Lakshmana. He started speaking to Lakshmana. He said, do you not remember, boy, how I ridiculed you, how I humiliated you and your little brother twice during that Ratri Yuddham, during that battle of the night? Do you not remember that night? Have you come here again to get humiliated by my hands once more? And Lakshmana responds, see, why don't you act and show me what you are capable of instead of talking? Why are you talking? Great men don't talk, they act. Act and show me your courage and your valor. Don't simply talk to me. Is that so? Okay. Patrinashitadharaste shara matkarmukachyutaha. So let these arrows, they are like, thirsty, blood-sucking birds that are going to befall you, or that are going to fall on you, and they are going to suck the life out of you. Therefore, Saumitra, if you can protect yourself, protect. This is the highest abuse that you can give to any man on the battlefield. I know it doesn't sound like a great abusing or a swear word, but he called him by his mother's name. He could have called him Lakshmana. Instead, Indrajit called him Saumitri, which means Sumitra's son, which is considered to be a subtle way of hinting that you are not fit enough to be on this battleground. You are not battle worthy. That's what he means. That's the undertone of this kind of jargon that we have during the war. And then the war began between them. And do you have any idea how long this battle went between Indrajit and Lakshmana? 3 days, 3 nights, non-stop. Neither of them were tired. Neither of them felt that enough is enough. Neither of them felt that, I have exhausted all my arsenal. Neither of them. The quality of war that we are talking about. It's a different thing that people get excited that the war of Mahabharata went for 18 days. Only 18 days. This war has not stopped since it started. It has not taken a small break, not even a small break, not even chai break. Okay. This has been ongoing day and night. They are fighting without food, without sleep. Can we imagine this kind of a war with this much of intensity, with so much at stake for Ravana, his pride? It's his city that is being, sieged. Sometimes, it is beyond my imagination what kind of a war it was. It's very easy to be awed by the number of armies that were involved in Mahabharata war. Because of the number, because of the organization, because of Padma Vyuha, because of the presence of the master strategist there, Krishna. There are plenty of great points for anybody to get excited about Mahabharata war. But what about Ramayana war? This is a classic story of David versus Goliath. I know I don't like to give that example, but that's the only frame of reference that I can give as of now for you to get on board. But next time onwards, I'm not going to give that example. I'm going to give the example of, do you remember how Vanaras fought against Rakshasas? Relentlessly. And the battle is going, as we are speaking about Indrajit and Lakshmana. Do you think other people are sitting quietly and watching? No, they are not. There comes only one break in the entire war, and I will tell you when that break comes. I will make sure that I mention that point to you, because you need to understand how long and how relentless the pressure was. In footballing terms, it was end to end. It was like, not a single break. It's like watching a classic tennis game between Federer and Nadal. It's like you have to move your eyes like this while watching a game like that. Just like that, you cannot take your eyes away for a second, even for a second, from this war. That's how intense this war was. I don't know whether I'm being able to convey that intensity to you. I'm trying my level best to convey that intensity. I hope I succeed, but that's how intense it was. So it went for 3 days between Indrajit and is Ravana resting at this juncture, sir? Yes, of course he is. Of course he is. Ravana is still, he's enjoying. This is the difference between leaders. There is one man who is leading from the front, who is bleeding for his own cause, and who is bleeding just like his other people. That's Rama for you. And then there is Thanos, or I don't know who is that villain who wears all these 5 what do you call, rings and creates chaos in the world. Nah, he sits behind the drug lord, sits behind Dawood Ibrahim kind of. No, that is Ravana. You see, that is Ravana sitting behind the scene and asking his minions to wage the war for him, win the war for him. That's not manly. Sorry. Being manly is to lead his men from the front, being in the middle of the battleground, fighting each and every battle, getting hurt, standing up and fighting. That's Rama for you. Okay, fine. Now, Vibhishana is a very great man. He has an eye for details. He understood one thing very clearly. He knew when to seize the opportunity. Maybe somebody had told him carpe diem before he left. Okay, so seize the day, seize the moment. He understood that this is the time that we have to go through, because he saw how these two people were involved. They were enjoying it. Nachatau yuddha vai mukhyam shamam chapyabhijagmatuhu. This line is repeated by Valmiki at least thrice in a single chapter, which shows that even Valmiki was enjoying it, I guess. Both Indrajit and Lakshmana, they were enjoying fighting each other. You see, when great warriors start enjoying something, it's never going to end. And Vibhishana thought that, no, we have to elevate it. We have to pivot this. And in business terms, we have to pivot this. We have to change the course of it. And I have to make sure that this goes to a point where it's either break or it doesn't break. It should end one way. It should not break even. It should be either profit or loss. Clear cut, black or white. Okay. So he decided that. Therefore, what did Vibhishana do? Vibhishana went to the Vanaras. They thought that Vanaras were not fighting strong enough against the men who were guarding Indrajit. So he went to them. Ekoyam Rakshasendrasya Parayanam Avasthitah. He is the last man standing for Ravana, the last champion that Ravana has to spare. He has run out of options. Ravana has run out of options. He has nobody else left in him except Indrajit. So this is the last frontier that we need to capture. Etachesham balantasya kintishtataharishvaraha. What are you doing? Why are you standing still? Why are you fighting like this war is going to stand, going to go on eternally? Fight to end this. Do not fight to fight for this. Fight to end this. Then he gives a list. How many people have we killed? Just a quick reminder. If you are interested, I will read out the names of how many warriors fell down in this relentless war, starting from Prahasta, Nikumbha, Kumbhakarna, Kumbha, Dhumraksha is going in backwards. Who was killed just before this? Okay, Prahasta, Nikumbha, Kumbhakarna, Kumbha, Dhumraksha, Jambumali, Mahamali, Tikshnodara, Tikshnavega, Ashani Prabha, Suptaghna, Yajnakopa, Vajradamshtra, Samhradi, Vikata, Arighna, Tapana, Manda, Pragasa, Pragasa, Prajangha, Jangha, Adniketu, Durdharsha, Rashmiketu, and Vidyujihva, Dvijihva, Suryashatru, Akampana, Suparshva, Chakramali, Kampana, Devantaka, Narantaka. This is the exhaustive list of great warriors that we have killed. And Bahubhyam Sagram Tirtva, do you remember that you swam this entire ocean and you crossed this ocean by swimming so far? Langhyatam Goshpadam Laghu. You have crossed an entire ocean, and this is just a small portion that we need to cross. This is vital, this is important, but we need to cross over this hurdle called as Indrajit. Okay. Yetavadeva shesham vo jetavyamiti vanaraha. Said that this is the only battle that matters for the rest of your lives. You win this battle, you will attain the status of legend. This is how you motivate soldiers, isn't it? Wonderful. See, even all these motivational speeches that you hear in the movies and all, Valmiki, our poet, you cannot take away the influence of Valmiki from any director or writer. Okay, fine, moving on. How brilliant were Indrajit and Lakshmana in their duel. I just give you a glimpse of it, and then we will go ahead with the story. I'm sorry, I have to give this a description because it's beautiful how Valmiki has captured it. Said that Nahyadanam. Nobody was able to pinpoint when did either of them, that is Lakshmana or Indrajit, when did either of them took an arrow out of their arsenal. Nasandhanam, when did they put it to the bow, or when did they held in their hand, when did they hold that dhanus in their hand, and when did they release it, and when did those two arrows struck each other, how did they cancel each other out, and how was the placement of their mushti, how was the placement of their hand, how quick were their hands in terms of all these things. Nobody was able to recognize. It shows that Pani Laghavam, which means the swiftness in which they had mastered their art and skill, and it was a highest exhibition of Dhanur Vidya between Lakshmana and Indrajit. Meanwhile, at the end of third day, it was almost the evening. So Surya was setting down. And at this moment, Valmiki describes that for these 3 days, the wind had stopped blowing. Okay. The fire had stopped igniting. The entire world had come to a standstill because every single creature was invested in this battle. What will happen between Indrajit and Lakshmana? Toe to toe. At this moment, they could not sense that Indrajit is losing. They could not sense that Indrajit is getting tired. And then Lakshmana did something that changed the course of this entire battle. What did he do? He killed Indrajit's Sarathi, the chauffeur who was carrying Indrajit. But Indrajit did not lose his heart. He did ride the chariot himself with one hand, and he somehow managed to fight Lakshmana with the same intensity. Kudos to Indrajit. Such was the strength, such was the skill, the mastery over the skill of Dhanurvidya that Indrajit had. But they all saw that Indrajit was tiring out, and that put the enthusiasm back, that shifted the momentum back to Vanaras. And then they started running chaos across the Indrajit's men, Indrajit army. But Indrajit did another unthinkable thing at this moment. He asked his men to hold on to the fort. Do not let them break into the city. This was his clear-cut orders. Okay. Nayudhyayur Mahatmanah Pravishte Nagaram Mayi. I'm going to get back to the city. I'm going to go to the city and get myself a chariot and refill my arsenal and come back. Till then, do not let them pass this gate. Do whatever you want to do. Do not let them. And he knew that he cannot afford time, because time was not luxury for him at that moment, Indrajit. You know how quickly he came back? Within few seconds. Valmiki describes that. And he went there, and it was like immediately he was back. That's the only time when they felt that, yes, we can break into Lanka. No, you cannot. That still Indrajit came back. And then there was a fierce fight between Indrajit and Lakshmana. Remember, even at this moment, Lakshmana did not have a water break. Lakshmana did not have the luxury of going somewhere and coming back, refilling his arsenal. No. He is still relying on his core strength. This is what we need to remember. There was no chariot for Lakshmana, if you had focused so far. He was standing on the ground, whereas Indrajit had chariot/s chariots. He could afford that. Whereas Lakshmana did not have the luxury of all these things, and yet he was fighting. That's the spirit that we need to understand. And he shot few arrows, Indrajit, to Lakshmana, and those arrows hit straight into Lakshmana's forehead. It looked as if someone has done some tilakam on Lakshmana's forehead. It looked like that. And Valmiki's description, exactly 3 arrows he shot at Lakshmana's forehead, and it made a mark on his forehead, and that looked like Tripundra. And then he used Raudrastra, he used Varunastra, Agneya, Saura, Asura, Maheshwara, Shakti, Shula. There was not a single weapon that was not used in the battle between Indrajit and Lakshmana. Now comes the most important time. Lakshmana decided that these astras are not sufficient to kill this fellow. It does not mean that he did not know any other astras. He knew all the astras. And if you have not forgotten, he also got educated by Viśvāmitra along with Rāma. Therefore, whatever Astra Vidya Rāma knew, even Lakshmana knew. So we cannot say that Lakshmana was not that qualified. No, he was qualified. He realized one thing. If you want to win over Indrajit, it's not going to happen through astras. He took an arrow. He made a mantra by himself. He chanted, he envisioned a mantra at that time. He created a mantra at that time. Dharmatma, Satyasandhascha, Ramo Daśarathiriyadi, Paurushecha Pratidvandvaha, Shara Enam Jahi Ravanim. This was the last resort that Lakshmana had. He took an arrow, he looked at that arrow, and he said, if my brother Rama is Dharmatma, if he has remained a personification of Dharma till now, and if he has remained Satyasandha, truthful in his life, if he truly is the son of Daśaratha, Ramo Daśarathiriyadi, Okay. And if Rama is the greatest ever warrior in this world, Paurushecha apratidvandvaha, there is nobody, apratidvandva means there is nobody who can stand in front of him. If Rama is all these things, hey arrow, I am going to shoot you, kill Indrajit. And yes, you imagined it correctly. This one arrow that he shot to Indrajit, it cut off Indrajit's head. It separated Indrajit's head from his body. The mighty, invincible Indrajit falls down, all because of a mantra that Lakshmana created. What is the power behind this mantra? What was the power that killed Indrajit? What enabled this one arrow to kill Indrajit, which thousands and lakhs of other arrows and other weapons could not do over the course of 3 days and nights? Rama. You bet on Rama, and he was down just like that. All of a sudden, there was a sense of an unbelievableness in the Rakshasa camp. They could not believe what had happened in front of their eyes. They have seen Indrajit's head separated from his body. What a scene it was. What a magnificent scene it was. I tell you, you have to behold to this scene. And if you are interested in that shloka, it is shloka number 69 in chapter number 90 of Yuddha Kanda. And he says that Dharmatma Satya Sandhascha Ramo Daśarathir Paurushecha Pratidvandvaha Sharainanjahi Ravanim. No disrespect meant to Indrajit, even when Lakshmana was killing him. The same Ravani, the same Indrajit abused him, hurled abuses at Lakshmana, called him Saumitri, ridiculed him, humiliated him with words. But even when Lakshmana was killing him, he had the courtesy to give the warrior his due respect. That is heroism. That is our hero. Not hurling abuses at your enemy, but fighting and winning them fair and square. This is how you win fair and square. What a great scene has come to an end. And the Vanaras, they were celebrating it. They placed Lakshmana on their shoulders and took out a march, a victorious march back to the camp. A brief break in between, but the battle was still going on in several other parts. We can't imagine that Angada was kept quiet. Angada was taking rest. Nobody was taking rest. If you remember, the entire army was set in 4 different directions, right? The war was going on, relentlessly going on in other directions. Now they brought Lakshmana back to Rama. You should listen to this conversation. It's beautiful. One of the most heart-touching descriptions that you will find from Valmiki's pen. So when Rama heard that Lakshmana has killed Indrajit, Indrajit is finally down. So Sadhu Lakshmana Tushtosmi Karmacha Sukaram Kritam Ravaner Vinashena Jitamityupadharaya. Consider us one. We have already won the battle. We have already won the war because you killed Indrajit. So one battle that mattered the most for both for Rama and Ravana. And only there was one man who could cross that line, the end line. And that was Lakshmana for you. He did that. The greatest ever battle. I think after this, we will take the questions. There are a few questions, I guess. Saumitri humiliating because he called Lakshmana by his mother's name. You don't call somebody by their mother's name. Sumitra was his mother. So Sumitra's son is called as Saumitri. If you call somebody on the battlefield by his mother's name, it is considered to be an abuse in the sense that you are calling him a weak one. You are not respecting him. So it's a subtle art. I'll give you a hint on how to understand this line. If you are familiar with all the swear words, I don't know if you are, but if you are familiar with a few of the famous swearing words that is spread across all the languages of India, you make a list of them and you make a detailed study of them. 90% of the abuses are pointed towards the mother. I will stop it here. I guess you can take it up further. You can understand why calling him Saumitri was a humiliation. Because I don't want to go deeper and deeper than this. But this is a subtle hint that I can give. All the abuses that we use in any language, 90% of those abuses are not aimed at that person. They are all aimed at that one person who gave birth to this idiot. That's how abuses work. I cannot give examples because this is not the platform. So I hope you can take it up by yourself. Okay. So now you understood why calling him as Saumitri was an abuse. He was not addressing him, addressing him in a good sense. He was trying to ridicule him. He was trying to enrage him, poke him in a wrong way, humiliating him. I will end it at that point. I hope I answered your question. Okay, there are a few more questions here, which I missed, I guess. Now, resting at this juncture, no, I answered that. Varisu team must have copied this from Ramayana. I don't care, my friend. Someone has said that, so I don't know when it was said at Varisu team. I don't even know who is Varisu. Even if I know, I don't care. So let us move on. So, so Rama is welcoming Lakshmana. And he said that here you find Lakshmana getting a bit shy in front of his brother. Rama does not treat him as his brother, as his younger brother. He treats him as his own son. So what he did is Satam Shirasi Upagraya. So Shirasi Upagraya. He did not kiss him, but he smelled his forehead. That was once upon a time the best way to express your affection towards someone, which unfortunately is lost these days. Nobody does that anymore. If anybody does that, they will look up, not up at him. They will look down at that person in a very bad way. They think that this must be a perverted man. Why are you smelling him? But I think I've mentioned it. This is what a father does when the baby is born. This is what the Jata Karma is all about. That is the first samskara that we do. In Jata Karma, the father actually smells the netti. In Kannada, we call it as netti, the topmost part of head of the newborn child. That's expression of love, utmost expression of love, the highest form of expression of love, if you ask me. Because he only hugged Bharata, isn't it? He hugged Bharata and he sat him on his lap. But you will never see the word Shirasi Upagraya. You find it twice or thrice that Rama does that to Lakshmana. It's such a love that he had towards Lakshmana, I tell you. Lajjamanam, and he was feeling very shy. Who? Lakshmana was feeling very shy. Lajjamanam, but Balat Sneha. Rama forced him to sit on his lap. And Lakshmana, I just killed Indrajit. Come on. And I killed the invincible one, and you are treating me like a small boy, a small baby. I don't care. You are still a boy in front of my eyes. In my eyes, you are still a boy. So he forcefully made Lakshmana sit on his lap, and then he Snehadankamaropya Upaveshya Samutsange Parishvajyavapeditam. He hugged him. Rama hugged him in such a way like how you hug a small child. I don't know, you have to use your imagination if you have any. I have run out of words. I cannot express how Rama felt for Lakshmana at this moment. It was not just a sigh of relief that Rama had, nor was the reason that he felt obliged or he's expressing his gratefulness to Lakshmana. No, that was not the case. He's purely proud of Lakshmana, that's all. When your kid achieves something, something that the world never expected anybody to do, how would you treat that kid? How would you treat that kid? How would you treat your kid if your kid achieved that? You would want to shower all your love on that kid, on your kid, isn't it? So that's exactly what Rama is doing here. That's all. Bhrataram Lakshmanam Snigdham Punah Punah Udaikshata. This is my most favorite part. Udaikshata. It means that he looked at him, he gazed at him. I don't know if you have ever been looked at like this, or whether you have looked at someone like this. Aankhein bhar aate hain when somebody elder to you looks at you like this. How Rama looked at Lakshmana. It's no words, nothing. He is simply looking at him. What a brilliant scene it is. And Valmiki, hats off to him. How he has managed to construct this, it's beyond my imagination. And actually, Shalya Sampeditam, he was hurt. Okay, Lakshmana was very much hurt because it's a brutal battle that happened. And Shastam and Nishvasantam, and he's still trying to catch his breath. Nishvasantam, Lakshmana was still trying to catch his breath, and Rama was looking at him. It's like, what an expression. I don't know what to say. Again, Murdhni Chainam Upaghaya. Again, he smells him at his head, and Bhuyas Samsprashya Chatvaran. And he just, Mai Savradu in Kannada, we say that he touched him like that. And then he said that Kritam Paramakalyanam Karma Dushkara Karmana Adyamanye Hate Putre Ravanam Nihatam Yudhi. I think Ravana is also dead today, because you killed his son. It means Ravana is also dead today. And Chinnohi Dakshino Bahu, Ravana's right hand is gone. So Ravana's entire strength is gone now. Ahoratrais Tribhir Viraha Kathanchid Vinipatidaha. Rama understood the magnanimity of this task. Kathanchid Vinipatidaha. The word Kathanchid expresses all the hardships, the struggles that Lakshmana had to go through in that battle. So therefore, then after all this beautiful scene, Rama calls upon Sushena and he says that, take good care of my brother. They could take good care of my son. Okay, and make him free of all these wounds. Treat him well. Now that's how you deserve a break from the battlefield. Lakshmana deserved it because he killed Indrajit. I mean, what else do you have to do in order to get a break from the war? Indrajit was killed by him. And now the scene shifts to Lanka. Ravana. See the reaction. He was upset. This is the second time that we see Ravana crying his eyes out. I think today is the day the gods will get a good night's sleep. Ravana says. Why? Because Indrajit is no more. They all know that Indrajit is no more. The man who terrorized them for so long is gone. Therefore, they will all sleep peacefully tonight, I guess. But at the same time, his eyes turned so red that it scared everybody who was in and around Ravana. And then he decided to do something that nobody had ever thought that he would resort to this. He took a sword and went to Ashokavanam. A lady whom he liked and wanted that much. He went there to kill Sita. Sita observed Ravana and she understood that either he must have lost his son and Rama and Lakshmana must be alive. That's why he is angry and he's coming at me to kill me. Or he must have killed Rama and Lakshmana and he had lost interest in me now, and now he has come to kill me. Either way, he is coming to kill me. She could sense that in the walk of Ravana, in the looks of Ravana. He reached her. He almost reached towards Sita. He drew his sword, and then there was Suparshva who stopped Ravana. He said, no, this is not the way for you, my king. Have you forgotten who you are? You still are one of the greatest ever warriors. Okay, you still can win this. We are still there, people, I tell you. he should have surrendered at this moment at least. If Ravana had surrendered at this moment, even at this moment, Rama would have forgiven him. Rama would have taken him. But no. And then Rama knew that this is the opportunity. So he seized the opportunity. He killed whatever was remaining of Ravana's army, who accompanied Indrajit and other people. So he went around across Lanka and he started killing his army. And meanwhile, even Indrajit's wives were crying. I will end it at that point. That is sufficient. It's an entire chapter is dedicated for that. There's no point in going through that. And then now, finally, has come to that level where he has to call upon his most trusted counselors. The counselors were never put to war because he had commanders in place. Now the commanders are gone, his brother is gone, his son is gone, Ravana is left only with his ministers now. So he calls upon his ministers and counselors. The last resort that Ravana has in the name of army. It was a joke of an army, but still, he had several people to whom he can pass on an order to fight for him. So they all went. Virupaksha was dead. Mahodara was killed by Sugrīva. Angada killed Mahaparshva again. And then finally, we have arrived at the point where there are only two people left, Rama and Ravana. Ravana does not make the same mistake again. Last time when he appeared on the battlefield, he went across the battlefield fighting each and every person and applauding them, telling them that, well done, but I don't want to fight you. I will move on. This time he does nothing of that sort. He focuses all his strength towards one target. And Ravana had only one target in his mind, that is Rama. He was not even interested in Lakshmana. By the time Lakshmana was back on the field, but still he was not interested in Lakshmana, neither was he interested in Hanūmān, Sugrīva. He had forgotten all of them. He had only eye for Rama. And thus began the greatest ever battle. I know it's not, it doesn't sound that fair coming from my mouth, especially after having used close to more than 100 minutes dedicated for the battle between Indrajit and Lakshmana. It may not sound fair to you when I say that the greatest ever battle that happened, even greater than what the previous battle was, the battle between Rama and Ravana. And what adjectives can we use to describe Rama and Ravana? One was a well-built young man standing on the ground and fighting. Another one was a veteran of 100 wars, veteran of several wars. Okay, tried, tested, battle ready, and battle proven. He had his own army. You remember the description in the initial stages that I had given. Ravana had his personal army. So he had brought his personal army. The last man standing, Ravana, he is not going to go down without a fight. By God, he is going to fight. And the way he fights Rama, impressive. It is so impressive that there comes a point in this battle where Rama loses interest, where Rama loses his heart. He says that it is impossible to defeat Ravana. Tato yuddha parishrantam. You must remember this from, if you are familiar with Aditya Hridaya Stotram, this is the first shloka of Aditya Hridaya Stotram, where Valmiki says that yuddha parishrantam. He was tired of the war, Rama, because he was not able to break through Ravana. I mean, impressive defense that Ravana presents. But before that, he does not leave anybody, and especially Lakshmana. He finds out that Lakshmana is back, and when Lakshmana appears in front of Ravana, Ravana uses his Shaktya Yudha, and he makes Lakshmana unconscious again. I don't know, I have lost the count. How many times did Lakshmana fell unconscious? If this is a trivial question that I have to ask after telling you or narrating you the story of Ramayana, you must have lost the count as well. How many times did Lakshmana fell unconscious in the war? This is yet another moment where Rama felt, what is happening? I thought that we have already won, because Ravana has lost his greatest warrior. But no, Ravana himself was handful. Let us not forget that. And he is showing that, he is proving that. Now here, Rama gives a break. This is the moment when all the Vanaras, from the lowest rank to the highest rank of Sugrīva, everybody gets a break from the war, because Rama was upset. He had enough. Enough is enough. That's the level Rama has reached now. He says that Lakshmanam parivaryevam tishtadhvam vanarottamaha. I ask each and every one of you Vanaras to surround Lakshmana, protect Lakshmana. That's all. Your job is to protect Lakshmana. Parakramasya kaloyam. This is Rama. I don't know, this line, we need to utter this in this country every single day. Parakramasya kaloyam samprapto me chirepsitaha. I have been waiting for this time for a very long time, and the time has appeared now. The time has come now for valor, for courage, for power. This is the time that I show who Rama is to the world. Brahma swayambhushchaturananova, Rudrastrunetras tripurantakova, Indro Mahendra Suranayakova, Sthatun Shakta Yudhiraghavasya. There was not a single man, god, creature in this world who could stand in front of Rama on the battlefield. The time has come now for Rama to prove Kasya bibhyati devascha jataroshasya sanyuge. You remember the question, the first chapter of Ramayana, where Valmiki had posed this question to Narada, that is there a man, when he gets angry, even the gods shiver. The time has come. And Rama realized it. When a great man like Rama realizes that this is the time for anger, be prepared for what follows that. One of my most favorite lines from Ramayana, I know I keep saying this quite a lot, but if you ask me, again, it will be very difficult for me to pick any one line. But I love this line when it comes to project Rama as the greatest ever warrior. Kangshitan chatakasyeva gharmante meghadarshanam. See, he says that gharmante, an entire summer, the chataka bird, it waits for the clouds to appear on the sky because it seeks water. It drinks only the raindrops. It doesn't drink water from the water bodies that are present on the earth. It drinks water only from the raindrops. So it waits anxiously throughout the summer. Just like that bird, Rama had been waiting for this moment from the moment Sita was abducted. You just have to take a quick recap of what all happened to Rama from that moment. Don't worry, he takes you through the journey himself. And he addresses the Vanaras. Asmin Muhurte, at this moment, this speech must be more famous than at the moment, at the stroke of midnight. This is even better speech than at the stroke of midnight, I tell you. At this moment, I promise you, I tell you, Satyam Pratishrunomi Vaha. Rama saying that I speak the truth to you. Aravanamaramamba Jagadrakshatha Vanaraha. Either this world is going to become Aravana, or this world is going to become Arama. Which means either this world will be today without Rama or without Ravana. Only one outcome is going to come out of this. This is Rama speaking for you. I mean, Valmiki saves the best for the last, isn't it? The best lines ever told by a warrior. Aravana Maramamba Jagadrakshatha Vanaraha. Where shall I begin? Rajyanasham. I lost the kingdom, courtesy of my mother. Vanevasam. I had to stay in forest. I was a prince. I was about to be crowned as the king. Okay, Rajyanasham, Vanevasam, Dandake Paridhavanam, and running around Dandakaranya. Vaidehyascha Paramarshaha. Vaidehi, that is Sita, getting abducted. Rakshobhishcha Samagamam. And fighting so many Rakshasas. Praptam Dukkham Mahaghoram. I have faced enough problems. I have faced enough agony for one lifetime. Okay. Kleshascha Nirayopamaha. Nirayopamaha. Niraya means Naraka. Hellish agony. That's what he means. Kleshaha is agony or pain. Nirayopamaha equivalent to, similar to hell. So hellish pain I have suffered so far. Adya sarvamaham tyakshya. Today is the day I kick all that agony out of me. How do I plan on doing that? Nihatva Ravanam Rane. So Ravana appeared like all the struggles, the pain, the misery that Rama had to go through all these years. He appeared, Ravana appeared like a human form of all the Rama struggles. Yadartham Vanaram Sainyam Samanitam Dhammaya. So I brought this entire Vanara army for this cause. And I placed Sugrīva on the throne of Kishkinda after killing Vālī. And we crossed the bloody ocean. I mean, not the bloody ocean. We crossed an entire ocean. Okay. Yadartham Sagarah Krantaha. We constructed a dam over the ocean. All for one man. All for this fellow. Soyamadhyam Rane Papaschakshar Vishayamagataha. He finally is in front of my eyes. He is standing right in front of me. Chakshur Vishayamagatya Nayan Jeevitum Arhati. I am not going to spare his life today. Okay. He gives an example. See, if any snake appears to the eyes of, comes in front of the eyes of Garuda, do you think that that Sarpa, that snake can escape from the eyes of Garuda? It cannot. So Rama gives this example, like how a serpent cannot escape from the eyes of Garuda. Likewise, Ravana cannot escape from my eyes today. Now he calls upon the Vanaras. Sukham Pashyata. You have worked very hard so far. I give you an opportunity. Sukham Pashyata. Take the best seats, occupy the best seats available to you around the battlefield. Okay. Asina of Parvatagreshu, where can you be seated? Climb up the mountains. Okay. Climb up the tallest trees that you can find. Sit back and see the battle between Ravana and myself. Asina of Parvatagreshu, Mamedam Ravanasya. Adya Pashyantu Ramasya Ramatvam Mama Sanyuge. It cannot get any better than this. This is the ultimate line that any poet can ever utter. Okay. May you all witness the Ramatva of Rama, the very essence, the very existence, the very core of Rama. May you all witness it today. Take a break, sit back, and witness it for yourself what Rama is made up of. Atyapashyantu Ramasya Ramatvam Mama Sanyuge Trayolokaha Sagandharvaha Sadevaha Sarshicharanaha. Every single creature that is present in this world, let them witness the power of Rama, the true nature of Rama, the originality of Rama. Adya karma karishyami yalloka sacharacharaha sadevah kathaishyanti yavad bhumir dharishyati. I shall fight Ravana in such a way, I will fight Ravana in such a way that people will keep on singing, not just human beings, the gods, even the gods shall keep singing the glory of this great battle until the day the earth remains. A battle for ages, not for ages, a battle forever. Rama claims this. And this is the right moment to conclude this session today, because we are going to see how Rama gets to kill Ravana in the next upcoming session. And afterwards, it's all a smooth sailing. It's only Uttarakhand. Plenty of stories for you coming your way. So if you have any questions, you may ask them. Sorry. Well, this is the first time that I have felt really tired after speaking. It rarely happens, but it doesn't happen. After all, I am a human being. So there is one message here. Were all these events like tapas done by Rama to kill Ravana? Yeah, you can say so. I mean, that would be too cheesy, isn't it? To say that Rama did all this tapas to kill Ravana. That's too cheesy. And it was all meant to happen. It did happen. He has summoned the true Rama. You can share the question to everyone. I think everyone can benefit. But Bharata followed smoke to locate Bharadwaj Ashrama, as you said. Smoke is inauspicious. So when did I say smoke is inauspicious? It gives a sign. Regular Agni will always, oh, no, my friend, you have not understood the concept correctly. See, there was no concept of, there is no, I mean, the idea of Homa is very wrong that we have in our mind, first and foremost. Because it's not something, Agni is not something that you light with a matchbox. Okay, that's not the idea of fire that we or our ancestors have. Our idea of fire is Nitya Agni Hotram. You are supposed to preserve the Agni forever, as long as you live. You cannot abandon the Agni. So when you are not giving Ahuti, the Agni will be prajvalitam, right? The Agni will be ignited. He said that when he offered the Ahuti, there was no smoke. When we offer Ahuti, if you observe Chandi Homam, they offer Payasam. When you offer Payasam, the Agni is not well samidha. No matter how the driest wood logs you bring, you pour Payasam. What will happen to your fire? What will happen to your Agni? It will go away. Then you use that, fan and all those items to ignite fire. No, you are not supposed to do that. You are supposed to mantrena Agni samidha, not with these materials. Okay, that's how you bring the fire up. And when you offer the Ahuti, Agni should be well lit. That is what he meant. And he located smoke because, of course, smoke will be there. On the other times, where there is fire, there will be smoke. No, I mean, logically, it's not the correct statement. Yatra yatra agnihi tatra tatra dhumaha. That's not the logical statement. The logical statement is yatra yatra dhumaha tatra tatra agni. Because even the hot iron rod has Agni, but you can't see smoke coming out of hot iron rod, isn't it? And that's what Nyaya Shastra tells us. Therefore, wherever there is smoke, there is fire. That's the understanding. I hope I cleared it. Right? It's not something that that we need to fixate that Agni means ever ignited now. And then, why did Indrajit worship Agni to get strength, even though he defeated Devatas? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you defeat any Devatas. Agni is your doorway. At the end of the day, without Agni, we are nothing. You need Agni. Okay. Why did Rama give permission to burn Lanka as citizens will be killed? No, he gave order to burn Lanka so that it was easy for him to breach Lanka. So the fortification of Lanka needs to be breached. The best way to do it is by burning it. Because you have to pierce through Lanka's defenses, right? It's not about killing people. Okay, I hope I have answered all your questions. All right. Any more questions? Okay. The classic way of posing questions is long gone nowadays, I guess. Nobody speaks for 2 hours straight. I have to hear my own voice. Sometimes I wonder, how do you people listen to my voice for 2 hours?
Sir, this is Ramya here.
Yes.
Sir, I have a small doubt. The five elements are, I mean, how do they work? So, I mean, it's natural, yes, but do they also follow dharma and all of that?
Who? Sorry, I did not get it. Who follows?
The five elements. Agni, yeah.
Yeah. Prithvi,
Panchabhutas.
Apu,
Yeah.
Vayu, Tejas, and Akasha. Yes.
They
They
do
do.
follow. So in I think the 19th or 18th session, I was like, watching the
Video.
lecture where you had told ki Indrajit performs a yagna before getting in, and then he received many gifts from the Agni. So
Yeah.
why would he receive all of that? I mean, wasn't like Agni aware of what he's doing was wrong?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I don't know how does it function. Just
No.
asking.
It's absolutely fine. I have an answer for that. So it's like worshipping these Panchamahabhutas is like writing a program. If you get the quotes right, you get the outcome. So they do not differentiate between who is doing what. They only follow procedure. If you have followed each and every procedure correctly, then it's the nature's law. It is dharma. It is niyati that you have to grant that fruit. It's natural. If you perform all these points correctly in any activity, then you are bound to get this outcome. It's like following an experiment word to word. If you follow all the steps, then outcome is guaranteed. It's just like that. So
Irrespective of who is doing
yes,
it.
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Why didn't the other kings of Ayodhya or its supporters help Rama in the battle? Were they not aware? It's not something that they need to be aware of, and they were not aware, first and foremost. And secondly, you don't require the help of kings, because that would be like that would show yourself as very weak, because you are seeking the help of someone. And I know what will be the corresponding question, but Rama did seek the help of Sugrīva, then how come he is not considered as weak? They were equal, they were partners, they were friends. So Rama delivered the goods first to Sugrīva, and then he asked him to repay the favor. That is fine. What is that famous line from Ramayana? Upakaram suhril lakshanam, apakaro arilakshanam. Upakara is how you define mitra, and apakara is how you define shatru. So it's good to have mitra along the way. And just imagine the logistics to bring an entire army all the way from Ayodhya and ask them to cross the ocean. Logistically, it is not possible. And they were all under the command of Bharata, isn't it? So he had, he could not go through, it's not the right way of diplomacy to approach. In order to ask or seek the help of other kings who are equal to him, he need to have an equal status. But he was not a king. He was in the forest. So he need to ask someone who was also in forest at that time. That was none other than Sugrīva. So diplomatically also it is correct. You don't make friends with people who are above you or who are people below you. You make friends with people who are equal to you. That's how diplomacy works. Okay. If only people had understood this, then people would not have been crying about Russia invading Ukraine. You don't make friends with powerful people. You don't. You stay away from them. You sue for peace with them. And you don't make friends with people who are inferior to you. You take them into your fold. You make friends with those who are equal. And Rama found Sugrīva to be the equal one. Therefore, that is the right way of doing it. Okay, and there are a few more questions which are directed directly to me, direct message. Okay, Krishna addressed Arjuna as Kaunteya several. Yeah, that is right, which means son of Kunti, correct? I'm wondering in the context of Saumitra. I know you were not able to digest that. I'm aware of that. Krishna was not on the opposition of Arjuna. Krishna was with Arjuna. That makes a difference. Even Rama has addressed Lakshmana several times as Saumitri. That's a different way. It gives a different tone. It gives a different sense when it is addressed by someone who is on your side, who is your beloved one. When they call you by that name, they mean love. When the enemy calls you by that name, they are trying to humiliate you and ridicule you. I hope.
Yeah. So I'm not able to type questions visible to everyone. It's only allowing me to type direct message.
I don't know that.
I don't know why.
Okay,
yeah, that's why. So for some reason, it's only giving that option. Doesn't give the everyone option at all.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I'm quite okay with that. Okay.
I don't know if it's the same for the others. That's how it works for me.
I think so. I think it's same for others as well, because
I'm not seeing any questions also, others questions.
Yeah, all the messages are directed only at me. I think that's how it works in this. So did Vanaras who were eaten by Kumbhakarna come back to life when Brahma granted Rama boon at the end of the war? No. They were eaten, my friend. They were eaten. They were digested by Kumbhakarna. No question of them coming back. Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Sir, actually, I wanted to know for how many days actually then this war happened, like from the beginning till the end?
9 days.
9 days, and no, without any break.
Yes.
So and they didn't had any food.
No.
Because in Mahabharata we have some references they had food from food, I guess, yeah. But here they didn't have, so
nothing.
It was okay.
I mean, this was proper men fighting. That was Mahabharata. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for that. That was a bad joke, I know, but I cannot hold it when it comes to Ramayana. This is the reason why they say that Rama and Ravana's Yuddha cannot be compared with any other battle in this world. Rama Ravanayor Yuddham, Rama Ravanayor Iva. It's just like how you cannot compare ocean with anything else, how you cannot compare sky with anything else. Likewise, we cannot compare Rama Ravana Yuddha with anything else, because it was that relentless. I mean, it is beyond my imagination. Sometimes I cannot fathom how did they even go on with the war. It must have been so exhaustive, isn't it? Just to imagine that. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yes, sir. Very true. You can't just imagine.
Yeah. And there are no fancy, what do you call, formations, great sacrifices. Nothing. It was. It just when this second part of KGF was released, many of the critics said that elevation, the story simply gets elevated after each and every scene. That's what they said. I think they have not read Yuddhakandam of Ramayana. I'm afraid to say so, because if you read Yuddhakandam of Ramayana, it doesn't. I mean, there comes a time, I personally believe this, if you read it continuously in one go, the entire Yuddhakandam, you reach a level where you have to hold your breath. You reach that level of pranayama, which happens automatically, because it elevates us to that level, to that height, where it moves beyond our imagination that such a fight was once fought. It's very difficult to bring that intensity into words. If there are any more questions, then we can take, and otherwise end the session.
Sir,
yes.
No question. Just wanted to share my experience. So I wasn't attending classes from past a month or so. So I had to sort of, watch it on video, the recorded version, and I couldn't find time for that. Also, today I literally binge watched the entire 3 sessions. And trust me, I never expected that I would actually enjoy it. I literally felt like I was watching some series. Like there was not even a point where I really felt bored. And again, three sessions at a stretch, I had to forward the speed of this thing. But the entire thing kept me so engaging. Like literally, I was feeling I was watching a series or a movie. I mean, because your ವರ್ಣನೆ ಹಂಗಿತ್ತು ಕಿ ಪಿಕ್ಚರೈಸೇಷನ್ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇತ್ತು. And there was a smile on my face, at certain places. Even I was amused, like, this is actually happening. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
This also answers, sir, the question that you said, how do you all sit? Literally, we sit. Like, we cannot tell you if it is called spellbound or what. Like, in fact, I'll just share that I have told Bhagwan that I will not light the lamp. I will not pray on these Sundays for 2 hours. Because this is more than a prayer, and every word gives us so much insight. There's we cannot express what we feel.
Yeah, I'm.
You don't ever feel that how are you all sitting, whether you all are listening. We are just, I can't tell you how so precious it is.
Thank you, madam. I think this is the second time Ramya ji has been able to stump me. Once it was with her question. Second with this kind of a reaction. Why do you want to take away the only thing that I know from me? I know only how to speak, and if you make me speechless like this, I don't know what else can I say. But thank you very much. It's been overwhelming.
My sort of truth, sir, literally felt like series itself.
Actually, there is one more question from Guru Anand sir. Sir, actually, it is shloka number 69 and sarga number 90 of Yuddha Kanda. 90th sarga of Yuddha Kanda, shloka number 69. Dharmatma satya sandhascha Ramo Daśarathir Paurushecha pratidvandva Sharainam jahi Rāvanim. That's the shloka. And also this shloka gives us an insight about why we use the word Rama Bana in Kannada. I'm not sure if it is used in other languages, but when we say that this medicine will definitely work, or this will definitely happen, or something like that, we use the term Rama Bana. It is because of this. Also because of this. One incident is where Vālī was shot with one arrow. That is one reference. The second reference, and more accurate reference, is Indrajit getting killed by one normal arrow. And I believe that my teacher used to tell us this, that was purely in Kannada. He used to tell that at that moment, even if Lakshmana had picked up a grass, okay, a blade of grass, and if he had threw that at Indrajit using this shloka, that grass would have killed Indrajit. The power of Rama, I tell you. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so we have a very long month. We are going to finish all the 3 sessions, the remaining 3 sessions within this month. The last session will be on Ramanavami itself. So there is a small change which I have not mentioned it. I thought that I will mention it today. Traditionally, the last sarga of Yuddha Kanda is known as Pattabhisheka Sarga, where Rama was coronated as the king. Even though it is a part of Yuddha Kanda, generally what we do is we don't narrate that at that time, or there is another way of doing it. We narrate it while narrating the story in a flow, and then at the end of Uttarakandam, we come back to Yuddha Kandam's last sarga, only that Pattabhisheka Sarga, and end it on a high note. That can be done. So I thought that last sarga, last 3 sargas, where Hanūmān gets to meet Bharata, and from there onwards till Rama's Pattabhisheka, we will narrate it at the end. That will be very, very nice to be narrated on Ramanavami, which makes more sense on that day. And the remaining 2 sessions that we are going to have, we will cover No, Ravana is still alive. No, even though the title says Rāvanavadham, Ravana is still alive. We will kill him next week. And then Uttarakandam in the remaining 2 sessions and almost 3 sessions. And the end of the 3rd session, we will see Pattabhisheka. Why I mentioned this is maybe in the flow of narration, if I miss that out, it is deliberate because I want it to be fresh when you hear it on Ramanavami. Yeah, I mean, any day you can hear about Pattabhisheka Sarga, but it has more significance if we listen to it on Ramanavami. Therefore, there's a small adjustment there. That is allowed. That is allowed in tradition as well. That's why I just mentioned it. Well, Ravana would still be alive. yeah, you are right. You have understood correctly how I narrate my stories. It's like the title of today's session will be like a teaser for next session. But somewhere it has to end because we are nearing the end point. So it will happen. Ravana will be dead. Don't you think it is unfair to kill both father and son, on the same day? We have to allow Ravana sympathizers to grieve a little bit so that we can absolutely kill them in the coming week. Oh, sorry, those are not the sort of comments you expect.
I have a request, like after ending this, we are learning so much from you. We should keep learning something from you, sir. It should not be the end. It should be beginning for something else.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we can arrange something, I guess. With Nirakula, we can do something. Let us see how things go. Well, absolutely, I would definitely love to continue on with something else. But my only concern is, what if I disappoint you? Because I don't know if I can bring the same intensity to any other work that I bring for Ramayana. I don't bring it for Ramayana. Ramayana brings that intensity in me. I'm not sure whether any other work will bring the same intensity, but I will give my best. I'll try my best. Let us see. It's definitely an option. Even we are thinking about it. So once it is decided, we will let all of you know. Okay, I've taken much time. So thank you very much. We will meet next week for Rāvanavadham, actual Rāvanavadham and Uttarakanda.
Thank you. Good night.
Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you, sir. Namaste.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.